Hello everybody, welcome back to Old School AOT. We're going to have a game for you today between two really old school AOT experts. So let's hop on right in. So we're going to have a game between KS Josey Wales playing Zeus, and he will be playing against EX Hope playing Isis. So, Hope obviously a great older expert, and Josey Wales also a very good expert as well. Probably not as well known these days, but was very well known for playing many different gods and just being good with many different gods. So we have Head of Orpheus, which is great, Kafara of Apollo, the Toothed Arrows, and what's that? And the Osberg Wagon. So some good relics on this map, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Both players opening up with a hunting dog start, it looks like. Yep. Just a pretty standard looking start. Looks like we're going for probably a 5-3 from Josey Wales. And for Hope, we're opening up with 3 on food. And we'll put in 1 on gold. And Pharaoh will be shifting over to Empower Gold. Interesting. I guess he wants to make sure he has the gold to obelisk soon again. Always interesting to see how Egypt players manage their economy, because I'm not one myself. There he has just moved it right back. He just wanted to get that right up, and now he's got a 5-3 going on. Gathering a bunch of pigs, and his obelisk is right up, so very nice. Be interesting to see if they go for any of the relics or not. Josey Wales, it looks like continuing with the pretty standard 5-3-3 build order. You still see this build order a lot today. It's just very stable for Greek. So they almost always do it, unless they're going for like an all-in rush or something like that. Josey Wales gathering quite a few pigs, so that's nice. Pretty good. Of course, Josey Wales taking his name from the outlaw Josey Wales, played by Chuck Norris. So, just a little bit of trivia for all of you if you didn't know that. So we're going to be having a Zeus against Isis. This should be a good matchup. Definitely this was recorded at a time when Zeus was thought to be much weaker than Zeus is now. Because believe it or not, there was a time when, I don't know, it wasn't bad, but like, people weren't like, oh yeah, Zeus is a really strong god, the way people are now, so. The meta was nowhere near as refined as it is now. When this was played, people just did different things. Yeah, so it should be interesting to see what they do. So to buy an old meta style of play, and it looks like Josey Wales will be going for an early advance as his tempo is already up. So, yeah, he's going for a fast advance, I'll tell you that one, baby. Scouting looks pretty good. Hope scouting looks pretty solid as well. Josey Wales has just missed these 3 RX in the back, which would be nice. It's a relatively safe hunt, particularly since Isis isn't going to be probably raiding you early on. But hey, again, one thing I stress on this channel is just how important it is to scout really well. Like again, Josey Wales has started really well, but not quite well enough. That's a good 1,200 food. That's a lot of fast, relatively safe food that he could gather without having to go out here. Scouting his opponent a little bit. Hasn't seen the back mine. And he is not advancing yet. Interesting. So let's see. Scouting up here, scouting the obelisk, nothing too crazy. We see a little bit of aggression going down where the priest came in and just hitting his opponent's villagers, but they appear to be all est. So that really isn't doing all that much right now. And Josey's still not advancing. I thought he was going to be advancing quickly from the temple timing, but I guess that's not the case. He's actually on par for a 6-minute advance. Getting annoyed with this harass, going to stab the priest. Let's take a look at Hope. And Hope is not advancing either, but he will be soon. The temple's going up. So yeah.
In which?
Definitely not meta by the standards of today, but I like how Hope has built his base with these towers here and using this natural wood line. So he's pretty good and defended, at least. Now that priest is going to be fighting the scout. He's going to have to withdraw. And the scout will pursue it. Should be able to get away, I think. Although we'll get pretty low. So Hope is advancing and Josey Wales is advancing. For about a 6-minute advance, so not very fast at all. Let's look at his economy. He has husbandry already, so that's interesting. Only the food-based tax. And his resources are stacking up, so I wonder if we're going to see a second town center or a fast heroic or something weird like that. He may be able to kill this priest. I might have been wrong, but I think the priest will be able to get to the tower in time. But, I don't know. Will he kill the priest? It's getting close, boys, but the Sphinx... I don't know, the Sphinx isn't out yet. Yeah, he has a little more time. He may kill the priest. So, Hope knows this, so he's sending over 2 villagers to defend the priest, and he will defend the priest. And Josey Wales loses his scout, which is a little annoying, so a small bit of mismicroing, but nothing too bad. You know, the scout is just more useful for intelligence than anything else. So what is Josey Wales doing? Making his dudes, his heroes, making 2 stables. The centaur's going out for a raid. Although it won't find anything. There's nothing over there. Looks like Jason is going to gather a relic or something, which I think is a good idea. And we're just getting Hippocon being auto-queued out from the barrack, from the stables. So it's going to be Hippocon. Interesting. And not surprisingly, we're going to see fast heroic from Hope. You know, I didn't really expect to see anything else. It's pretty much what you expect to see in a situation like this. So, one of his obelisks is coming under attack, along with another, so Josey Wales is just going to deny him vision, so he'll sort of be restricted to his base for the time being. He did gather these cranes here, which is alright, you know. Don't have a huge bonus, but it's food. It helped him get to heroic, so... Ooh. Does he not have enough food to go heroic? So he does not have enough food to go heroic. I assumed he would, but I wasn't looking at the food. So it seems that the hunt is not very good, and it sort of has led him to be restricted, and he will be slow in going to heroic, but he is now on the way, so it's going to be just under 9 minutes. So it's not too late. Don't get me wrong, it's not too late, but it's not that fast either, and we can definitely see that just the presence of the Hippocon on the battlefield was enough to deter Hope from going for one of these more dangerous hunt files, which in my opinion was definitely the right decision. Losing a bunch of villagers early can just be devastating if you're going fast heroic, or just in general. So these Hippocons are going to kill some villagers here. Hope did not react in time. And ouch, Vil fighting, and that's not going to do it. He should lose that villager. Oh, is he not going to lose that villager?
In which?
My gosh, if that villager escapes, that was micro. Oh, no, it died. Okay, 2 villagers going down and 2 priests for 1 Hippocon. So this is a nice raid. 3 villagers for 2 Hippocons. 4. Okay, so well, he will be losing these units now, but he has done significant damage, so that was probably worth it. And Hope has used Ancestor/Eclipse on Josey Wales. He sent out his Sphinx, and he's going right for the town center and also going for a raid. which is sort of important, as Josey Wales has reacted immediately with his heroes and is repairing the town center, so I don't think this is going to work. And overall, this looks like a rather weak Ancestors/Eclipse. It was very popular in the old days to immediately fire Ancestors/Eclipse into your opponent's economy or go for the town center, but good players were definitely capable of countering it back then, and here we see that Hope's Ancestors/Eclipse was easily countered because it was far too hasty. But these units that he made, the slingers, I'm not sure why he's making slingers. That's not going to do anything, and the slingers have just died. These myth units, however, are dangerous and can force some nasty fights against these Hippocons, so all in all, it seems like a bit of a waste, but you know, he does have safe gold, so I wouldn't say it's the end of the world by any means. And he is going to go for this town center behind all these myth units. But this is a little risky, because if the heroes come back up, I don't think that he has enough to take this town center. So I'd imagine he will be pushed back here, if this is microed right. And the Hippocons go to fight the villagers and the good old Pharaoh. There are a few chariot archers coming in, but I'm not sure it'll be enough, considering that Josey has significant military forces here. And yeah, it appears that the town center is going to be abandoned. A villager goes down. Jason has died, so that's good. None of the MU have died yet. Although, there goes a Sphinx. The Scorpion Man will be saved though, which is great, because you can heal him back up. And it's just like a free Scorpion Man then, which is super stupid. So I'd imagine this priest will be healing that Scorpion Man any second now. Making a mining camp here, that's really, really weird. I don't know why. Was that a misclick of sorts? It well could have been. But Josey Wales will watch this front town center. He's not going to let Hope just take it. That's not going to work. So Hope is deciding to respond to that by sneaking another town center, and he was really pursued by crocodiles, but now they're backing off, but it is being watched by a Hippocon, so I don't know. The one thing now is that Hope's army has built up, so he actually may be able to take this town center now, seeing as there's only one hero here, and once again we're going to see the myth pulled back. But no, it's not quite enough, so interesting. He is taking it here, but it's been spotted by the Hippocon, so it's probably not going to go down. All he needs to do is send one Toxote there or something. And he is responding with his whole army, which actually could give Hope a moment to move forward again, but he's not going to. He's just going to stay back. He's had too much idle villager time, and it's starting to hurt his economy a little bit. So we do see the Hippocon, just that one Hippocon stopping it, which is funny, but he does have more Hippocons coming, so it's not the end of the world that he's not fighting it. And Josey Wales will be establishing this forward town center for himself, definitely showing the power that Greek can have, being able to stand up, particularly in the Hippocon, being able to stand up to the Egyptian heroic army, pretty much because of the Hippocon, which is just a really cost-effective, strong unit, honestly. It's always been a good unit, and definitely, as the meta has evolved, you see Greek players relying more and more on Hippocons because they're just a very strong unit and they're great against Egypt. And they force counter units which are in general not that great against Greek armies, the units that counter Hippocons. Like, gonna make Spearmen, alright, that's alright. A great unit objectively. Our cavalry, probably also not a great unit objectively. Although they have been kind of good lately, but again, they were buffed quite a bit. But, historically speaking, the cavalry was not a great unit. Although, keep in mind, it still was used by some very good players. It's one of the amazing things about this game. Even units that are often considered to be not that good have often been used by certain players very effectively because they had playstyles that just worked with that unit, Definitely happens. Like if you watch some old bishop games or old raw players of a certain style, even when the camel was not that good, they would go for things like just can't really camel raids, and it would just work out really well because they were just really good at fighting with the camel. And that hero, that Jason, will be focused down. But that's not the end of the world, because he tanked the entire army for about 4 seconds, which, if you think about it, is really impressive. That's 4 seconds where Hope's army wasn't firing at his army. But I don't see Odysseus out right now, which means that these Scorpion men will absolutely own the Toxote. So this is a scary moment for Josey Wales because of all the myth. Luckily, Hope does not appear to have any siege out right now, but that will probably be changing very soon. We note that Hope is managing his military without auto queue, which means that his composition is precisely what he wants it to be, which is something you very rarely see now. And Josey Wales is forced to ceasefire primarily because he did not have the heroes there. And, yeah, the myth was just owning him. So he is now heroic through, what is it? Dionysus, I think. Quote me if I'm wrong, but he gets bronze. That's a pretty good god power. Considering the Ancestor/Eclipse has already been cast, this will allow Josey Wales to control when he casts bronze, so should be good for him. He is moving into a 4 versus 1 town center position, so I'm starting to get a bit worried about our Egyptian player Hope, but he is at least taking a second town center, so the game will be semi-equalized at least. And not making any siege. Wait, wrong point of view. Let me go back to Hope's point of view. Oh, he does have siege queued up, so he may be trying to do a push soon. He did seem to suspect this was going down and went for a raid, but it didn't quite work. So that's okay. That's alright, ladies and gentlemen. His army is just sort of massing out here, and let's see his economy tax. The ads, handex, hunting dogs, husbandry, irrigation, pickaxe, and the sacred cats.
Πρόσεχε.
Josey Wales says handex, hunting X, husbandry, pickaxe, and the Cathava Paul. Not an upgrade, but extra speed for villagers is nice, right? Taking them up to what, 4.18 speed? So I'd say Hope actually has the advantage in economic upgrades, although Wales is up by town centers. And he does feel a little uncomfortable in this fight, because he's not popped out yet. He's still sort of booming out, so he is dropping bronze to try to equalize the fight, because as we see, there's a lot of Egyptian units here, including the siege tower. So this is a close fight. Odysseus is definitely holding it down, stopping the nymph units in their tracks, and the RC Hope starting to focus. RC Hope starting to focus Odysseus down. It would have been nice to see Bolt used at some point, maybe extract some value, but I guess he could be saving it with one of Osiris. So Josey Wales is being cut down in this fight, despite using bronze, so that probably wasn't the optimal place for him to fight. Would have been better off fighting more under town center fire, but hey, you know, it happens. And Hope will now be pushing forward, despite being down town center-wise. He has a small population advantage. And will he be able to ride this to push through the town center? Josey Wales cannot cease fire to save himself right now, so he's going to have to come to some sort of military advantage. Pretty low on food right now, which is, I think, really what's hurting him, because despite having this big economic advantage in terms of town centers, he can't really boom collectively out of it. You know, excuse me, Hope is low, so that's hurting him too, but Josey Wales actually has a good income, so scratch that, excuse me. I looked at the wrong character. But yeah, Hope is quite low on food, so that's going to be hurting his booming, and it is allowing Josey Wales to boom out, excuse me. And that's why Hope has been pushed back here, despite executing what looked like a pretty nasty push. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. We do have Hope preparing to establish trade down here. Josey Wales has continued to make villagers. His economy, I'd imagine, is getting really big. Let's look at the economies. And yeah, Josey Wales is ahead significantly, despite ISIS just having a really good economy. And Hope is sort of sneaking this gold mine here, which is He's going to have to come out someday, so why not come out now? But Josey Wales isn't going to mess around. He's checking the gold mines immediately. And I don't know if he saw it. He walked by it, but I don't know if he was paying attention because I do not see his... Oh, there he goes. He has seen it. So Hope has seen that he's been seen too and is responding too, and he's just going to run away, I imagine. Or perhaps try to fight, but no, he's... Oh, there we go. He's going to try to establish a mid-goal, so... The spearmen are not the right unit to protect against the Toxote, but I'd imagine he's going to fight anyway. And yep, the units are going in to fight anyway, just because he needs to establish control over this position. And no, he's backing off and just coming with the main army, because this isn't going to work. Spearmen are just really bad against Toxote. Nice little raid with one Hippocon, very cost-effective and very annoying. Also gaining intelligence on the fact that Hope is trading now. This army here from Josey Wales looks a little small, but that could be deceptive because it was split into two groups, so we'll have to wait and see. Fight going down. This is definitely a crucial fight because if Hope can establish this mid-goal, then he's guaranteed access to this mine. And if he can't control this mine, then it's going to be very tough for him to win this game as he is out of gold in his base. He has mined out all that gold, and he can trade, but it's going to take a little bit for trade to get going, so he fundamentally needs to control this mine. Nice little sneaky raiding with that one Hippocon, killing another villager and delaying that mid-goal. So even though Hope is pushing forward here, he's still not fully established on this mine, but he will be with all those villagers coming close to build up the mid-goal. And then he will be gathering with, well, all 20 villagers, so very interesting. Josey Wales smartly just killing off that obelisk. He's going to get attacked by the crocodile. I think he will die because he's not paying attention to it, understandably. Yep, RIP villager. And now Hope is being pushed back again, but it has achieved the ascended purpose. He has established the Migdol stronghold, and he has secured a 6k mine. So this should keep him in the game while he gets his trade back up, and this should give him an opportunity to stay in this game despite being down 2 to 4 town centers. We can see that the Greek army is now starting to get a little scary, you know, once all 3 heroes are out. Things just start to get a little scary. You can't really rely on MIF units the way you could before, and he is going to try to pressure this mine immediately with Hippocons. But Hope sort of feels that something is coming and has walled up to get ready. So good response from Hope, knowing that a player like Josey is hardly going to give him a minute to breathe. But his army does need to be there responding, and it's not. And now he's just losing a lot of villagers. And melee fighting villagers versus Hippocons, which is never that great. And his army is now responding, finally. So he will be able to hold this position, but he has lost some villagers for no reason, which is unfortunate. Let's take a look at Josey Wales. He does have his market up, so he's probably starting to think about Mythic, sitting at a healthy 180, 160 over 180. So he can head Mythic relatively soon if he continues to boom. But it seems that he senses the blood in the water, and he just wants to push through this position, starting to integrate some hoplites into his mixture. And that Hydra is putting in some serious work, especially now that the priest has been killed. It independently will be enough to take down that Migdol stronghold given enough time. And Petrobla is coming out. Josey Wales electing to fight in heroic and definitely making the best of it, because probably the only real strength with Greek and heroic, at least relative to its strength in other ages, is the fact you can get range siege a whole age before anybody else. So nicely played there, but you know, Hope instantly reacted like a good player will. And here we go. That Migdol is being sieged down by that Hydra. And I just don't know if Hope can stop that. Yeah, that's not good. This trade here is also vulnerable to being disrupted too, so this is a very tenuous situation for Hope. You see he's over almost 40 pot behind on Town Center. He needs to be gathering gold, but instead he has to be repairing the Migdol so he just doesn't lose that position. He has made priests, but he can't even bring them to fight. because there was another Hydra besieging his main Migdal. So really good use of the Hydra, and he's making really effective use of it against an opponent who's low on gold, because if you don't have gold, how do you counter the Hydra? You really don't. Not very well, as we can see. But it seems that Hope has held his expansion gold mine for the moment. Although, once again, these fights are not looking that effective. These villagers just don't do a great job fighting Hippocons. I don't know if those are fights I really want to be taking, but hey, what can you do? Still, the Migdal has been held for the time being.
Πρόσταγμα.
Josey Whale's economy looking very strong. Still around 160 pop, so but he's just been fighting so much. Interesting to see no military upgrades yet. Not even medium ups for his horses and his cav, so yeah, I don't know. I think he will just doggy pile into this position and dare Hope to do something about it, because I don't think Hope has the military to hold it right now. And it's interesting that his army keeps sort of gathering back here. I wonder if his waypoint is back there or something. I think he would be more focused on trying to defend here, but I don't know. It seems as though this position will be overrun just by the range siege. And yet another Hydra coming out, so a very nice Hydra play, I gotta say. And Hope's army does look somewhat outmatched here. And here goes the Migdal. It will be taken down by the combination of the Petrobles and the Hydra. So now this trade is very open, and Josey Whale's army will be moving into the trade. But what is this? A barracks side build from Hope. I'm not quite sure when he sneaked the villagers over here. I was looking elsewhere, Sargaz. But this should be interesting. He's going to try to equalize the game. And Josey Whale smartly deletes his market just because he doesn't want to lose any of his expensive caravans. So he's just going to go to the market over here and not risk that. In the meantime, Josey Whale is disrupting the markets of Hope. So Hope's trade will shortly be shut down. And Hope knows he can't allow this, so his army is coming in to try to prevent that, because he absolutely has to if he's going to stay in this game. And these Hydra are just a huge pain, because Hope does not have that much gold in our population, so just making priests to counter them is really a tough proposition right now. And this is really smart. Whenever Hope moves his army away, Josey Whale immediately starts sieging his main Migdal. So just exerting constant pressure and using his numerical advantage to slowly force Hope out of the game. So I don't know how Hope can come back at this point. He does have this little side build here, but it's walled in, and I don't know what a few barracks units in the economy is really going to do. It could be annoying. He could hit the gold here or something, but I don't see it ending the game or really putting him back into the game. So we will be able to stop this fortress here, so that's good, but again, the markets have been lost, and his trade has been stopped, and he is now once again without gold, or without any sort of gold income. Although he does now have another market, which is, well, let's see. Gathering some gold at least, 15, that's not too much, but it's something. But even there, Josey Whale is in it with his Heracles. It's just causing some trouble, Causing some trouble. So now we see that Josey Whale has advanced through Hephaestus, so I'd imagine this will soon spell doom for our Isis player, seeing as, oh yes, weapons of the Titans. So not going for Forge of Olympus, instead going for the upgrade for his Myrmidon, so Josey Whale doesn't even think he needs Forge of the Olympus. He's just going to make Myrmidon and end the game based on the incredible strength of Myrmidon. So we do have a siege tower down here to push down this wall, so this harassment will come in, but again, I think it's a little too late, and he is losing the replacement market, so that's very bad. So Hope is just in a position here where he's pretty much locked out of any good source of gold, which is really the only thing keeping him out of the game. I feel like if he had a stable source of gold, you know, he's a good enough player that he would have been able to come back, but since he didn't, since Josey Wills has been really on top of denying him gold all the game, he's been able to prevent Hope from reaching that point where Isis just becomes an unstoppable spammage killing machine. And even here, he's countering the side build pretty well just with hoplites, which are a really strong unit, so I'm not entirely sure what his opponents can do about that. We have Osiris coming out, so Osiris will be the last stand of our Egyptian player. And I don't know. I like Osiris, but our opponent is still holding Bolt. And on this old patch, Bolt can, I believe, kill Son of Osiris. Not do a ton of damage, just straight up kill Son of Osiris. So if Josey Wills is cognizant, all he has to do is bolt the Son of Osiris. And the Egyptian army will once again be very, very weak again. Sending the Colossus to just take down that market, and there's going to be no way to stop that. Also stopping the side build just with the strength of champion hoplites. There are axemen coming out, but so we may kill these champion hoplites, but you know, again, all it'll take is a few more units from red to stop that side build. And this is much more damaging than the stopping of the side build, really. So this is ridiculous. This whole army has to come over here just to deal with a few units in a Colossus. Shows you how strong the Colossus really has the capability to be. And the hoplites actually won that battle with the axemen, so that shows you how just ahead the Zeus player is right now. And, well, this little army will die, but there we go, the bolt going down on the Son of Osiris. So right there with that, I feel go the entire chances of winning the game for Hope. You know, because if the bolt just neutralizes your Son of Osiris, wait for a chance you really have. Huge army of Myrmidon here. I don't see how Hope is going to counter that. He's just too far behind at this point, you know. So Hope is going to try to hold out valiantly for a few more minutes, but I think the writing is on the wall. But ooh, or is it Titan? Secret of the Titan Gate. So Hope's really behind, but he's going to try to make one final plea for power, and that plea for power will be a Titan Gate. I don't know about this. He only has 115 pop. I think this Greek army can just sort of walk in here and demolish it, to be totally honest. And we'll just fast play for a minute to try to see. And yes, that's exactly what we're going to see. The Greek army comes in and Hope is going down in population and he won't even be able to finish. And the Greek has also made his own Titan Gate, so that is very much GG, ladies and gentlemen. So, good game. Well played by Josey Wills. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and yeah, take a look at the older meta. See you next episode of